Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Once again, we will be exploring true horror stories taken directly from various Reddit pages. For those who are new to the channel, I will be adding software to my voice to make it a little scarier, so don't be confused when I sound a little different. If you guys enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe, it really does help the channel grow. Without further ado, let's get started.
Am I going crazy? This is on my burner ACCBC. I don't want anybody to know. It was me. So this all started a year and a half ago when I started seeing people everywhere. You probably think that's normal, but I mean everywhere. In my house. But one thing was more off than all of this really is. They all wore green coats, and it wasn't constant whenever I saw one. A few minutes later, I would blink, and about 2 to 5 hours have passed. Eventually, it stopped. Until today, I was on a hike, and it was hot, and I was talking to my girlfriend, and then I saw a group of people in green coats at the end of a cliff, just staring at me. I asked my girlfriend if she saw them, and before I could get an answer, I blinked and was home. And when I asked my girlfriend, she said I was really quite for the rest of the hike. So that all led up to me typing this. I messaged my friend who is a doctor, and he says, I might have a timer, but what do you think? Unsolved Murder from 1984. Hello everyone, I hope it is okay to post this here. I have been researching a murder that happened here in Baltimore City, Maryland around August or September 1984. I had an uncle that was murdered, shot 6 times, while he was at work. I believe the company was called Moldcraft. His name was James A. Rowe. My family always suspected police involvement. My grandparents tried to reach out to detectives at the time, America's Most Wanted, and they had numerous visits from Baltimore City Police to let the case go. It was suspected that my uncle may have been dating an ex of a cop. That cop's last name was Compton. I do not have the first name. I started this journey by looking up death records and was able to find his recorded death being September 9th, 1984. He was 26 at the time. I applied to order the death certificate to have a copy, and I have been trying to go back to newspaper archives with no luck, as everything costs money. I tried the Enoch Pratt Library online, and they only go back to 2000. I am trying to get as much info about it going forward. I want to contact state police and federal, but I honestly have no idea how to go about that. Also, I want to find some articles, if any, on the shooting. My grandfather did have a clipping of his obituary from the newspaper, so I'm also looking for that. My mother is the only one cooperative, but a lot of details have been lost to time and memory. I was only 1 when he died. I didn't know him, but my grandparents went to their graves with no answers. I would like to get some answers if I can, to get some closure, if just for my remaining family and myself. I really lack some knowledge on the means to obtain some information to present to authorities, but I am trying to gather what I can. I was wondering if anyone had any advice or ways to go about getting info, such as newspaper articles. I can provide as much info as needed. I would appreciate even just a bit to get started. This is a lot for me to jump on a subreddit and ask for help, but I just want to do something good for such a terrible tragedy that has affected my family for so long. Thank you in advance. He left his skin behind like an empty suit. I think I finally understand why. Capsule. While in a cramped internet cafe capsule in Tokyo, I heard strange, wet noises from the booth beside mine. A slick, slithering sound, followed by something peeling, tearing, like a wet glove being turned inside out. I cranked up the volume on Tentacle Prison 4. The Warden's Revenge, to drown it out. The sound design was high-budget depravity, squelching, slapping, exaggerated high-pitched gasps. But at least it was expected. The reality on the other side of the thin capsule wall was not. I didn't sleep much. The noises stopped around 4 a.m. Silence settled in, sticky and unnatural. By morning, the cafe's cleanup crew had gathered around capsule number 17, whispering in fast-clipped Japanese. The air reeked, salt, iron, something faintly acidic. As I squeezed past, my gaze flicked inside. A man's skin lay on the mattress, neatly folded, completely intact, like a discarded suit. But his body was gone. Something in me buckled. A small, primal part of my brain refused to accept what I was seeing. The details etched themselves into me regardless. The careful arrangement, the soft pooling at the wrists and ankles, like he had slipped out of himself. I left Tokyo the next day. Home. Back in Europe, everything felt smaller, duller, and more artificial. The streets were familiar, but the people looked thinner, stretched out like their skins didn't fit quite right. I quit porn, or tried to, but my brain had been rewired, a mosaic of flickering thumbnails, autoplay loops, and clickbait depravity. I'd scroll for hours, watching nothing, hunting for something, but nothing was enough. I stopped going out, stopped talking to people. My phone became my companion, my window into worse and worse places. I started seeing ads I didn't remember clicking. Private forums, invitation-only streams, live experiences, some with Japanese titles. A message arrived in my inbox, no sender, just a link. I clicked. The page loaded slowly, deliberately. A video player. Thumbnail, capsule, number 17. I hit play. It was him, the man from the cafe, naked, trembling, kneeling on the mattress, a wet sound. Familiar sound. His skin split, not cut, opened, voluntarily, peeling from his back like a curtain drawn aside. And then, something stepped out. The man wasn't gone. He had just left himself behind. The thing that emerged turned toward the camera. It had his face, but it was smiling. The shedding. I stopped leaving my apartment, not out of fear, more like detachment. The world outside felt unreal, like a poorly rendered background in a game. The air smelled wrong. Sounds were muffled, like cotton stuffed into my ears. All I could think about was the video, that thing stepping out of itself, the freedom in its movements, the relief. The video disappeared after I watched it. Refreshing the link led to nothing, but the messages kept coming, at random hours of the night. No sender, no subject. Just instructions. Stretch your skin. Press your fingers beneath it. Feel the looseness, the way it peels so easily from the muscle beneath. I stopped resisting. I don't know why. Maybe I was already halfway gone. Maybe some part of me had always been waiting for this. I started pulling at the skin of my forearms and my stomach. It didn't hurt, not the way I expected. It felt natural. Like loosening a collar that had been strangling me for years.